You are now listening to the sounds of Beat Miners Radio, your favorite radio station. www.beatminersradio.com.
You know, I mean, they had a saying back in the days, you know, wilding out. It was never wilding. That was never a definition to say, oh, black and Hispanic kids going into neighborhoods and committing crime or vicious criminals. That came from the police. You know, said we were wilding, and they put a meaning to it.
Right.
And it took a life of its own. And that also led to, you know, urban terrorists, super predator. Super predator came from this case also, where 41 states changed their juvenile laws because of us.
Wow. Oh, say that again. 41 states in the Union, America, changed their laws.
Their juvenile laws.
Relative to your case.
Yeah, because this was also what put fear in the public. You know, black and Latino kids, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're heartless, they're going into neighborhoods and committing crimes. Now they're going into white neighborhoods. What's next? And this is what put the fear in the people of the city.
Wow, that's incredible, because we see that same tactic being used again in Ferguson, Missouri. With the quote-unquote rioting and the looting. And Newsweek magazine did an article where they said that the recruitment of Bloods and Crips has skyrocketed since the Mike Brown murder, and that the gangs are using this for recruitment. And you know, it's this whole psychology. It's the brainwashing to make the masses of people think that we are the enemy.
That's right.
So when they come with the militarization of the police, prison industrial complex, the war on drugs, everybody rolls with it because we got to do something about these, excuse my language, these niggas.
Yeah. Right. Also the criminalization of black and Hispanic men. You know, Trayvon Martin, the first thing they told you was that he had weed in his pocket. He had cold weed before. And they put the stigma on him that made people say, well, you know what, maybe he was a bad kid.
Right.
And that's the same thing they did to us early on. There were over 400 articles written on us within the first 2 weeks of this case, dissecting our lives, where we came from, you know, what kind of kids were we. We were all middle-class kids, went to school, had good grades, but they painted this picture, you know, and they told these stories. You know, Raymond liked to run the neighborhood and beat people up. 14 years old, 90 pounds, soaking wet. Who am I beating up?
Right.
So at what point, you know, at what point did you really say, yo, you know what, this is some serious right here?
You know, a lot of it went over our heads, so we got to the jail. Because at this point, the whole jail was like, we're going to hurt him. You know, Corey went to Rikers Island at the age of 16. Him and another co-defendant, Michael Briscoe. First night on Rikers Island, they got jumped. 25 inmates. You mean to tell me police didn't see that?
Right.
Of course not. He turned his back.
Right.
And so...
Might have set it up.
And so when we got there, a counselor came downstairs. The counselor's name was Washington, and he said, you know, this is serious. And we're like, what are you talking about? We still thinking we going to court, family court.
Right.
And he started breaking the whole story down. We were like, what? Nah, hell no, that's not what happened. And that's when we found out it was real.
Hey, now, 1989, I was just leaving my sophomore year in college. It was the summer. I was doing landscaping in Glen Ridge. So when your case happened, there was a rape in Glen Ridge where some teenage high school kids gang raped a mentally challenged young lady with a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah.
That was not in the media at all.
Yeah.
And this is going on at the same time. And when you think of the context of it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, basically it's the same thing, but you guys got all the attention and they got none of the attention. Why do you think that was?
You know, because of, you know, the scene that was set upon us. You know, I remember I was in college years later in prison, and I remember reading the juvenile delinquency textbook, and they highlighted both of those cases. And the media perception of that case was boys will be boys.
Right.
In our case, it was animals, give them the death penalty, you know, electric chair, you know, throw them in jail, never see them again.
Right.
And it was basically the whole scene that was set upon us in '89. How they dissected our lives early and made us to look so bad, and to dehumanize us, to make us seem like we were really animals in the public's eye.
You are now listening to the sounds of Beat Miners Radio, your favorite radio station. www.beatminersradio.com.